What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. In this episode, we're going to be recapping everything that happened over the weekend that relates to the stock market. We're going to be recapping the movement from last week and giving the hot stocks that we're watching for the week ahead. So make sure to stick around to the end of the episode. We have some interesting options we're looking at, one of them being a $6.4 million call option on a stock that's moving quite a lot. So make sure you guys stick around to the end, and we're also going to answer your guys' questions from the previous episode. And if you guys aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe to see our daily videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. But with that being said, Tom, what major news happened over the weekend?
Yeah, there was actually a lot of news that came out. But before I go ahead and address the news, I just want to go ahead and say that we're not trying to get overly political with this or anything. It's just news. And just keep in mind that whenever the Senate and the House and just different political parties start voting on things, especially bills and stuff like that within the Senate and the House, it can really affect the market. So we're not trying to get overly political with this, but it's just stuff that's going on in the market right now. But CNBC reports that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has called on the Trump administration to reconcile remaining disputes on coronavirus stimulus legislation within 48 hours as lawmakers attempt to pass a bill before the 2020 election. And all of this is while the Senate is planning to vote on a $500 billion GOP coronavirus stimulus bill Wednesday. So they're really getting a lot of arguing going back and forth right now. And Mitch McConnell said that nobody thinks this $500 billion plus proposal that they're voting on Wednesday would resolve any problem forever. It would only deliver huge amounts of additional help to workers and families right now, while Washington keeps arguing over the rest. So I'll just let you guys go ahead and make your own decisions in your head, you know, which political party's right here. But it's just news, so they're going to be voting on that on Wednesday. And Pelosi pretty much gave Trump 48 hours to go ahead and get a bill passed with the Senate. And this is a big deal because the House already passed their bill and they're trying to get that through the Senate now. And it's just taking a long time. And she gave Trump only 48 hours or else they're going to pretty much cancel negotiations until after the election.
Yeah, that's interesting. So like we said, we're not trying to get too political, but though that's the news, you guys can make your own decisions off of that. But the main takeaway is the faster we get a coronavirus stimulus bill, the better it is for the economy. So the sooner we get that, the better it is. The more we keep fighting, and the more that politics keep going back and forth, it's just not good, right? So we just want the bill passed as soon as possible. Was there any other major news, Tom?
Yeah, there's actually jobless claims are going to be coming out on Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. But other than that, we really kick off earnings season this week with a huge week. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the chart right here. And this is from Earnings Whispers. And these are the most anticipated earnings of this week. So maybe not all the earnings are on here, but there's quite a bit. And we can see that Monday, we have Halliburton, Logitech, IBM. Tuesday, the big ones are Netflix, Snapchat, iRobot, Lockheed Martin, P&G. Wednesday, we have Tesla, Abbott, Verizon, Whirlpool, Netgear. On Thursday, we have Coca-Cola, AT&T, Intel, Capital One, Southwest Airlines, and Friday, American Express, ABB, and Barnes even. So there's just a ton of stuff going on right now with earnings, and there's a ton of earnings this week, and some of these are pretty big. Like we're going to look at Tesla, AT&T, Verizon, Abbott, Netflix even. These are some huge stocks they're reporting this week, and if they don't go as well as expected, it could really move the NASDAQ around.
Yeah, I mean, we do have some pretty big names in the market this week. I would say everyone's going to be looking at Tesla because Tesla is just one of those like hype stocks. They've had an amazing year so far. On a split adjusted level, they went from lows of about like $70 to highs of over $500. Like I said, that's on a split adjusted level. But there was a lot of hype around Tesla's earnings the last time they had it. And don't forget that like calls and puts both suffered on Tesla's last earnings report. So remember, with earnings, it's Tom and I normally don't play them because even if you predict the direction correctly, you can still lose. So each report is different. The market makers have different expectations for each report. But looking at Tesla's chain right now, for the October 23rd expiration, so this week, the market makers are expecting right now about a $50 move to the upside or the downside. So that's over 10%. I mean, it's a pretty big move. So just keep your eye on Tesla and make sure, just don't forget that even if you predict the direction correctly with earnings, you can still lose money, and that's due to market maker expectations. So we're not going to get too much, we're not going to get too in depth into this, but just a quick example. Let's say the market makers are expecting a 12% move to the upside or the downside, and like let's say Tesla, like let's say you buy calls and then Tesla goes up 3%, you would lose money because Tesla only moved 3% rather than like the 12% expectation. So just keep that in mind. So is there any other news, Tom?
No, I think that covers it.
Okay, so now let's get into our Discord member of the day. Today's Discord member of the day is A Bloomfield 4848. So he made a great trade on SPCE on Friday. So huge shout out to A Bloomfield, and also shout out to him for boosting the server. So I know not too many people know about this, but on Discord you can actually boost the Discord server. It's like $5 or something like that, and it just gives the server a couple more additions like custom emojis and stuff like that. So thank you, A Bloomfield, for doing that. And now let's get into today's momentum plays. And the first one is Uber. So let's look at Uber to the downside, Tom. What are you seeing?
I'm really looking forward to fall below 33.50.
All right. And then the next one, we have Tesla.
TSLA, make them go ahead and fall below 435, and just keep in mind that they do have earnings on Thursday.
All right. And then Z.
Make them fall below 96.
All right. And then last but not least, OSTK.
Overstock, all these are to the downside. Make them fall below 76.60.
Yep. So there was a decent amount of downwards momentum at the close of Friday. So we're eyeing these 4 stocks potentially to the downside only if they can break below the levels Tom listed. And for those, just quick in and out day trades. All right. And now for today's unusual options activity. And we are looking at the NIO 30 strike call options that expired this Friday, October 23rd. There was about $6.4 million put into this play. Looking at NIO, it had a huge run up the past 3 days, right? Right now, I kind of like it for call credit spreads out of the money. So I really think that they are shorting these 30 strike call options. The 30 strike call option, it's still it's $1.50 out of the money, actually a little bit over that on a $28 stock. So, looking at this, it really looks like they're shorting this option. The options are expensive right now. Yeah, they're pretty expensive right now. NIO had a huge week last week, and basically the smart money just needs NIO below $30, and if that's the case, they will keep all the premium on this trade. So, what are you seeing with NIO?
Yeah, NIO just looks really strong this week. I really like how they had a red day Friday because, like you said, I've been waiting for this stock to come down to potentially get some call credit spreads. And it's just another one of those stocks that gets really overextended. And this has been a really popular stock the past couple of weeks with their electric vehicles and stuff like that. People love this stock and they've just been flocking in. But as we all know, that momentum really has to run out eventually. And if we look at the daily chart, whenever you pop from $2 to $30 within a year, that's just it's just going to happen to where we have pullbacks of 5 to 10% all the time.
Yeah, for sure. So keep your eye on NIO. I'm looking at it for out of the money call credit spreads, but we'll see what the market presents come Monday morning. All right. So now let's get into our comments from the previous episode. And with the first comment, we have, let me go. Okay. So we have Health Fitness saying NIO going to peak at $32 and go down. And I hope to buy more at the dip. So he's going for the long term. So obviously nobody knows the top. No one knows the bottom, not even Warren Buffett, who's been trading or who's been in the markets for like 60 or 70 years and who's worth like $70 billion. He has all that experience, all that money, and he doesn't know the top or bottom. But NIO looks like it can definitely be coming towards a top in the short term. If you like this company for the long term, there's really no wrong time to buy. But ideally the best thing to do is to just dollar cost average or average in, basically buying like, like 10 shares a week or 10 shares a month, or just continuously buying in, because nobody knows the top and no one knows the bottom. Also, if you like this stock for the long term, consider doing cash secured puts on this. So basically, NIO is at $28.50. If you like a stock for the long term, I really like to do cash secured puts. Like, let's say, NIO is at $28.50. If you go to like the November 20th expiration, you can sell the 22 strike put right now for about $100. Basically, what happens is if you sell that put, if NIO is below $22 by the expiration date, then you have to buy 100 shares of NIO at $22. If it's anywhere above $22, you just keep the premium and you run. So you just make $100 for basically making a deal with someone saying that you are willing to buy NIO at $22 a share. So it's a pretty cool strategy.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite way to get into long-term stocks.
I mean, it's the best way to go. You get the premium, and then you also get the stock at a really low price. So now for the next comment, and we are looking at, let's see. So we have Problem saying, what do you think of Cardiff Oncology? I got in at $80. We got in at 80 shares at an average price of $5.25. So I think this one is CRDF, Tom. Yep, CRDF. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, this is another really strong one. It reminds me of NIO chart-wise. I mean, not quite, they didn't quite run that high, but it looks like they're going to be running off of some type of news. They seem like a medical company or a biopharma or some type of pharmacy company. And it just seems like that they're kind of almost looks like they're going to stair step back up to me just based off the chart. Just be very careful because it could obviously pop back below, but it looks like it has a very nice like stair step pattern to the upside. And it almost looks like it's trying to turn back up, but you always have to be careful and see that momentum before you get in.
Yeah, so we have not researched this company for the long term. We were just looking at this on a technical standpoint. So just looking at the charts, obviously it went from 83 cents to $18.12 in the past 9 months. It had a huge run up. Obviously that is a great sign, right? But with that being said, we've seen a lot of stocks do this in the past year, and then they come not crashing down, but they have a pretty strong pullback after that. So just be careful with it. If you do your own research for this stock and you know something that we don't know, that can obviously change the analysis, you could say. All right. And then we have R saying, is APPS a good buy for the long term? Could you please share your opinion? Thanks. So APPS also, we have not researched this company for the long term, so we can't really give you an opinion like that, but we can look at the charts. So what are you seeing on the charts with APPS?
Yeah, this one really looks a little overextended to me. It really reminds me, I mean, I don't want to say NIO because they probably don't do the same things as NIO, but the chart looks really close. And I think that just whenever you are up this much, I don't like getting in at the long term, at highs like this. It's just not what I'd like to do. If anything, just do those cash secured puts on this if you want to get in for the long term. But personally, I would not buy in whenever, if you popped, let's see, from around $4 this year all the way up to $42. So that's like 400%. It's just something where if you buy in right now, you have a pretty good chance of it coming back 100 or even 200%, back down to possibly $20, which would be a pretty big, 50% cut there anyways.
Awesome. So any other last minute insight, options, stock, anything that you're watching for the market this week?
There wasn't too much, but there was some news that came out about the big stock SPCE, and this stock actually on Friday broke out of its little trend that it was in. And you could see that it popped on Friday and then kind of consolidated back down. But the news is actually pretty interesting. There on October 22nd, their FCC license that will permit them to begin test flights will go into effect on October 22nd, which is this week. So they're really due to do a test flight. And a lot of people are saying that they're scheduled to do a test flight, but nobody knows the exact date. But a lot of people are really skeptical that they're going to actually perform the test flight on October 22nd. And SPC has been running the past week. So just go ahead and watch SPCE. I really like it, especially if they start doing test flights and stuff. That could really make the stock fly.
Awesome. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you guys so much for watching this video to the end. As you guys know, we are getting so close to 30,000 subscribers. If you guys want to see our videos on your YouTube homepage every single day, don't forget to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.